All right, so get ready, because today we're going to tackle something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about the NFL, but
interesting.
before you think we're going to be diving into, play breakdowns or fantasy stats, we're actually going for something way more interesting.
Okay.
The emotional side of the game.
I like it.
We're talking about what makes millions of people tune in every single week beyond just, the love of the sport itself.
Right. And we've got a whole stack of sources here that really highlight this point that the NFL, it's about so much more than what happens on the field.
Absolutely.
It's about these stories, these connections.
Yeah.
Even, finding inspiration in the most unexpected places.
Okay, so here's a stat that really blew my mind when I saw it in one of our sources.
Okay.
24 million people watch NFL games every single week.
Wow.
That's like the entire population of Australia glued to their screens.
That's huge.
What is the pull that goes beyond the touchdowns and the tackles?
You hit the nail on the head. It's the pull. And, the sources point to the power of stories.
Yeah.
Think about it. We as humans, we're drawn to narratives.
Yeah, right.
Whether it's a movie, a book,
Yeah.
or even the lives of these athletes.
It's true. One of the sources talked about this father and son in Detroit who bond over the Lions.
Oh, wow.
Across generations.
Cool.
Imagine that, like, taking your kid to Ford Field, just like your dad took you.
Yeah.
It's more than just a game, right?
It's not just a game at all.
It's family history, it's shared memories. It's almost like a ritual.
It's exactly that ritual. These shared experiences,
Right.
whether it's watching the games every Sunday or wearing that lucky jersey, create this sense of belonging.
Yeah.
It's like this thread that connects us to something bigger than ourselves.
I get that. Another source actually highlighted how the NFL provided comfort and connection for people during the pandemic.
Oh, interesting.
Think back to 2021.
Yeah.
The world was upside down.
Crazy time.
Yet people still found solace in, the familiar routine of football.
Yeah.
Did you feel that too? Did your own fandom help you through that time at all?
I think a lot of people found something to hold on to during that time. And for many, it was the NFL.
Yeah.
One of the sources even mentioned Alex Smith's incredible comeback from that horrific leg injury.
Oh, yeah, Alex Smith.
You remember that?
Oh, his story was everywhere.
And it resonated with so many people because it wasn't just about football anymore, was it?
Right.
It was about the human spirit, about overcoming these incredible odds.
Right.
And it tapped into this need for hope and inspiration that we all have.
Yeah.
Especially when things are tough.
There's a question for you. One of the sources mentioned that Smith's recovery was as much about his mindset and his support as it was about physical healing.
Right.
Do you think that's why his story became such a symbol of resilience for so many people?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think what's so fascinating here is, his mental toughness, his support system, even his openness about his struggles. It resonated with so many people because it wasn't just about him coming back to play.
Right.
It was about how he faced adversity head on.
It makes you wonder if that's part of why people get so emotionally invested in their teams. It's not just about winning or losing.
It's not.
It's about seeing those players, face these challenges, overcome obstacles, sometimes even fall short.
Right.
It's almost like a reflection of our own lives, isn't it?
I think there's a lot to unpack there. It's almost like we're looking for echoes of our own journeys in these athletes' stories.
Right.
And maybe that's part of what makes the NFL more than just a game.
Yeah.
It gives us this space to process those feelings, to connect with others who understand those same struggles and triumphs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how, these sources are showing us like a whole other side of the NFL, like this idea of finding, strength and inspiration in the face of adversity. It's making me think about all those like iconic moments, like a game-winning drive or a huge upset.
Right.
Like those moments feel like they tap into something deeper.
Yeah.
Something almost universal.
You're right. It's about those shared moments of exhilaration. Of witnessing the impossible become possible.
Right.
And it gives us this sense of hope, like a belief that maybe we can achieve great things too.
Okay, so we've talked about family. We've talked about resilience.
Right.
About finding hope in tough times.
Yeah.
But one of the sources went even further and talked about the NFL's impact beyond the field, like its role in social issues.
That's a really interesting dimension.
Yeah.
It really challenges this idea that sports are just entertainment.
Right.
Separate from real world issues.
Yeah.
The sources actually suggest the opposite.
Right.
That the NFL can be a platform for change.
Right, like the My Cause, My Cleats campaign.
Exactly.
Players get to showcase causes that they care about. mental health, social justice, you name it. It makes you wonder if that makes a difference, right? Does it make fans more aware, more likely to get involved?
Well, it's definitely a powerful way to use their platform. And what's so interesting here is how it leverages, the unifying power of sports.
Right.
You've got millions of people watching.
Yeah.
And suddenly these important issues are front and center.
It's funny. We often think of sports as like an escape from the real world.
Right.
But this shows how the NFL can actually be a force for positive change.
Absolutely.
Within that world.
And it speaks to the evolving role of athletes as well. They're not just performers anymore.
Right.
They're using their voices to advocate for what they believe in.
Okay, so let's bring this all together.
Okay.
We've got family traditions, we've got resilience in the face of adversity and this potential for social impact. Are you starting to see a pattern here?
Yeah.
It feels like these sources are saying that the NFL, it's something much bigger.
Much bigger.
Than helmets and shoulder pads.
I think you're spot on. The sources definitely suggest that, the NFL, it taps into this deeper well of human needs. The need for connection, for inspiration.
Right.
For a sense of purpose even.
It's like those 24 million viewers that we talked about.
Yeah.
They're not just watching a game.
Right.
They're participating in this shared experience that speaks to something fundamental about what it means to be human.
Exactly. And I think that's a key takeaway here. We often try to compartmentalize things.
Yeah.
Sports over here, serious issues over there.
Right.
But the NFL, and perhaps sports in general, show us how those lines can be blurred.
It's making me think about, my own relationship with sports.
Yeah.
Like why certain teams or athletes resonate with me more than others. Maybe it's not just about their skill. Maybe it's about the stories that they embody, the values that they represent.
That's a great point. It invites us to examine our own fandom. What draws us to certain teams or players.
Right.
What are the hidden stories that make them more than just a game to us?
I came into this deep dive thinking we'd be talking about, stats and rivalries.
Yeah.
But this has been so much more insightful.
It really has.
It's like we peeled back the layers and found this whole other dimension to the NFL.
It's amazing what you discover when you start looking beyond the surface, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of these deep dives,
Right.
We get to explore those hidden depths together.
So for our listeners out there, let's recap what we've learned today.
Okay.
We started with this mind-blowing number, 24 million people tuning into NFL games every week.
Huge number.
And we've discovered it's not just about the love of the game.
Right.
It's about family traditions, the power of stories, finding resilience in the face of adversity, and even the potential for social impact.
Yeah, we've seen how the NFL can tap into these deep human needs, the need for connection, inspiration,
right,
and even a sense of purpose.
It's a reminder that sports can be more than just entertainment.
Absolutely.
They can be this powerful force for bringing people together, for fostering resilience, and even for driving positive social change.
For sure.
All this from a game where people throw a pigskin around.
Oh, no, right?
Who knew?
It just goes to show that there's often more to things than meets the eye. And sometimes the most unexpected places can reveal these profound truths about ourselves and the world around us.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay.
What other hidden stories are playing out in your own favorite teams or sports?
Yeah.
What makes them more than just a game to you?
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
That's it for today's deep dive. Until next time, stay curious. All right.